Hey everyone, I'm going to show off the jack-o'-lantern build I made and used for the competition. This is using various NFTs I own. The competition started on October 18th, 2022 and ended 4 days later on October 22nd, 2022. The meta for this competition was jack-o'-lanterns. This was a gala reward competition, so the prize was gala for the top 1000 ranking players. What I'm showing here is a recording I took 5 hours before the competition ended. I got a great spot with 2 rivers. I ended up placing in 120th place, which is good enough for me. I may get bumped up to top 100 after they've eliminated anyone flagged for cheating, since that usually seems to happen. I didn't have my projection monitor running at the time of recording, but this build ended up doing 160 jack-o'-lantern per hour on the 3rd and 4th day of the competition. That was after multiple tweaks. The first day I finished the build, it was doing about 120 per hour, and the second day after some tweaks, I got it up to 140 per hour. I didn't have any issues balancing this build, and my game never crashed while running this build, which is great. A quick rundown of the build now. In addition to the 2 river edges, I also used my 2 legendary water towers, and this gave me all the water necessary for all my crops to work. Notice I didn't need to make any ponds for my crops. All the ponds I have are for the water pumps. This was also very helpful at the start since I needed to rush pumpkins for cash. I had about 40 pumpkin patches at full passive water and was getting somewhere around 1,000 pumpkins per hour and getting the cash really fast. I used my dragon to sell in batches of 25, which worked great for this meta since so many jack-o'-lanterns are being produced every hour. I just needed to have 3 silos and 3 warehouses for storage to make sure no products got jammed. I used the Haunted Maze Zone 1 for passive nectar for my beehives. I used 2 Haunted Maze Zone 2s. One I got distributed to me, the other I bought on OpenSea for a good deal since they aren't trading for as much as I think they're worth. And those gave me passive clay lump. I had all Miranda skins applied for the full buff, and as for the effect cards, none of the current effect cards in the game mattered for this build. I had 8 farmers, 9 beekeepers, and 20 loggers gathering all the items in this build. I was using farmers because the possessed farmer is faster than the tractor. 12 pumpkin patches to get all the pumpkins I needed to make jack-o'-lantern and to sell the excess for enough cash to pay my wages. I had 8 potteries making jack-o'-lanterns, 15 potteries making ceramic bowls, most of those with passive clay lamps, all had passive water drums and to energy, and all potteries had green timers. Only needed to place 2 clay fields nearby to have enough clay for the remaining potteries that did not have full passive clay lumps. 11 beehives making wax, 8 had full passive nectar, and 3 of them had 2 passive nectar, so I had 1 clover field nearby to supply the rest of the nectar I needed. 6 lumber mills making lumber, 2 lumber yards to place the lumber in. I did this instead of just using 1 lumber storage, since I also own a legendary lumber storage but decided not to use it because I figured this was more efficient. I used 38 trees to get all the wood I needed since this build was very wood and lumber heavy. I had 19 fabric plants making cotton yarn. They always got the cotton from the same silo nearby since all the cotton was going there. I had 11 cotton fields for all the cotton necessary to make my wool yarn production match my wax production. And if I'm not mistaken, that's all. This was a simple build overall, especially compared to the box related metas. And unfortunately, in case you didn't know already, the next competition will involve all the boxes again, making it the hardest competition to ever come to Townstar. I believe the meta will be stacked boxes, which require 1 gift box, 1 fabric box, and 1 other unconfirmed box to make. People are calling it the supply box, but all we know for sure is that it will be made in the pottery shop and involves a ceramic bowl in some way. But it was also said that the next competition's NFT reward will be a really good one. We don't know what it is yet, but it better be valuable considering how difficult this upcoming competition will be. If you decided to copy my non-NFT jack-o'-lantern build, please let me know how you did. I thought 100 jack-o'-lantern per hour was not anything that great, but turns out some people got to top 500 pretty easily with that layout, which is great. Seems the builds I make turn out a bit better than expected. Can't promise that'll always be the case, just don't want people getting upset with me because they copied my build exactly and didn't win a prize. Which is why I always recommend tweaking it to make it better. I would appreciate it if you could like this video, and please do leave a comment on how the competition went for you or anything else in that regard. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to keep up with my content. If you're new here, I make content regarding Gala games and will eventually cover all of the games and Gala content. I'm primarily making Townstar content at the moment since that is where most of the content is at right now. But if you're also interested in Mirandus, Voxverse, or The Walking Dead Empires, I'm definitely planning to cover those games a lot as well. So consider sticking around. I appreciate all your support and thanks for watching.